Her Highness Sayyida Alia bin Sawabi Al Saeed, Patron Al Noor Association, Madam Barka Swalha Kabul Al Bakri, Your Excellency, Ambassador of Pakistan, Mr. Javed Hafiz, Mr. Tariq Jawad Faburi, and of course, my child Faryal Ahmed, Excellencies, guests, dignitaries, friends, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, good evening, Namaskar, and Sat Sri Akal. I personally welcome you to this auspicious, though small, but an august function hosted by the Embassy of Pakistan in coordination with Al Noor Association for the Blind. I should rather not use this word blind. Al Noor Association for the visually impaired, insighted, brave members of society. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to make it a very sober occasion. Mr. Javed Hafiz, Your Excellency, you have quoted just one instance, funny instance, from my book. If you read it very carefully, you find that I have not made it a very heavy reading at all, because I was never ever depressed by my handicap. By God and by nature, I have been endowed with a gift to always look at the funny side of things. As a young girl, I remember that we friends used to laugh and laugh just for nothing. And I remember once we were standing by the rows of flowers, and as we opened our mouths to laugh, one of the bees entered my mouth. And though I threw it out, but you see, and it gave me a lot of allergy. Now I think, what kind of age was it? Even such ordinary things used to make us laugh. But I think that was a very healthy attitude. That was a very positive attitude. Handicap or physical, mental infirmity of any type I've seen usually depresses a person. At whatever stage they get it, whether it's in old age or at young age or whether it is as a child, I've seen persons becoming depressed. The major thing to be done is to humor them up, to give them a feeling of hope, a sense of belonging to the mainstream of life. And that's how, life becomes quite bearable. You might have seen people suffering from inferiority complex. Even able-bodied persons I've seen suffering from inferiority complex. But you see, the differently able persons, not only disadvantaged, I must say differently able persons I've seen are more liable to develop a complex, as if they descended from another planet. Why? Because there are some short-sighted, non-understanding persons who discriminate them. As in one of the chapters, you might have seen when I went to receive my MA degree, and most probably I was the very first lady candidate who had done masters, and my nation didn't know that somebody could come to receive this degree on a tricycle. When I tried to enter the hall, a highly duty conscious person stopped me, saying that no, your cycle is going to spoil the red carpet which was spread for the chancellor, who is supposed to be the governor of Punjab, provincial government. Now, that was a bolt from the blue upon me, and I have described it in my book. Please read it very carefully. I am mentioning these incidents because this, however minor they appear, but they simply scar our very psyche. He won't let me enter. Then there was another person, a humanitarian person, watching. He came forward, pushed him aside, and helped me up to my seat. While I tried my level best to explain to him or ask him in a very humble, beseeching tone, you see, I have come, and how am I going to receive my degree if you don't allow me to enter? Well, he said, no, it's not my business. I have just been ordered not to get this red carpet spoiled. So there was another incident, there is another incident I mentioned when I had to appear for my MA exam, and the driver was very, heady sort of, very headstrong sort of a person from Jhelum. He dropped me outside the school. It was a primary school, the center, selected for my master's exam. And unfortunately, it was all kacha, that is, it was unpaved. And since it was a primary school, so just to honor these students who were coming to take up our exam for masters, the principal had it fully sprinkled, so much so that it had become all slimy and muddy. Those days I didn't have a wheelchair. I had only a tricycle, which he said I didn't need to take because I have another mini wheelchair on which I move around at home. And he said that would do. So we went to the gate of the school. There, when he saw all that slimy passage right up to the corridor beyond which was this examination hall, he refused to go in. It was a college bus. He then started putting up lame excuses, such as small children are playing, I am not allowed to take my bus inside. I had already got down on my wheelchair and its bearings, had simply sunken in the slime. Now, you can imagine my helplessness. My friends and students wanted to stay on, but I sent them away because this exam had already started. With what difficulty I saw the principal standing at a distance. I beckoned him to come and listen to my problem and allow me to take the bus inside. That's a long story I have described in the book. But that one incident affected my entire career. I had gone all blank because of this sudden shock, and the time which I had wasted. When I went inside, I couldn't attempt my questions at all, though I used to be the topper in class. It had all gone blank. Then all of a sudden I remember the face of my mother sitting on musalla, offering salat for me, praying for me, and the points all rushed in, all at once for all questions. So I would turn 4 or 5 pages and enter the points of one question, and then of another one, I could just jot down points. And in that paper I got hardly pass marks, whereas in 2 other papers I got first class marks, which is simply impossible to achieve in English literature. Well, coming to the book, mostly when I had not written the book, people used to ask me, why aren't you writing down? Why don't you tell me? I was simply showered with volley of questions as to what happened to me. and why I was in wheelchair. So I said, okay, I'm going to write, but I was shy about it. Why? Because you see, it's not so easy to share your privacy with everybody. And the kind of social setup I came from, girls were not encouraged to disclose their family life or their private life at all. Well, at last, you see, just before retirement, one of my teachers, she motivated me. She's one day simply lost chapter. You see her photograph in the very opening of my book, Professor Zahida Ijaz. She was the motivating force. She said, no, Zahida, you don't belong just to yourself. Now you are an asset of the nation. The way you have faced life, the way you have contributed to life, you must put it down in black and white for other persons of your time. So it was then that I started writing, and now you see I'm about to approach, between you and me, my sweet 70 this year, and some of the descriptions and details that I give might sound like a ghost speaking from the past, but that is not the case. I'm not a ghost at all. You see, at heart I'm very young, and this is another blessing of God, that at heart I always felt young. I always felt rejuvenated. Why? The secret lies in the fact that I have always been surrounded, like today, by marvelous variety of goodness and encouragement, you see. I've been very lucky in this respect. In one of the meetings, you see a young student asked me how my class fellows used to react to me, because I was educated in just normal children's school. And I answered that I had always been lucky, because I don't know why, I felt myself the center of attention. Whichever function was held, whichever, you see, picnic was arranged, they won't go even at college level. So you are going to enjoy all these details. They won't go without me at all. They would, because I was good at beating drum, you see, and I could sing a little bit also. So, so they used to say, well, our symphony is not complete without you. You give the beat, and only then comes the rhythm to our program. So it is something symbolic, you see. Even those who have some kind of deficiency are gifted with something exceptional, you see. Rather, I feel that nature reactivates the rest of the potential that these people have. Just like, take the example of a mango tree. If tempest tossed, a branch gets bruised, and the gardener supports it with a piece of wood. When the rest of the branches bear fruit, then this branch also bears fruit. And if in the next season that branch gets broken, miraculously enough, the tree bears more fruit. So the lesser the branches of a tree, the more the fruit and the sweeter the fruit. That is the message of my book. Please don't underrate those who are deficient in something. Nature always compensates. Here is this brave young man sitting next to me. You see, physically he cannot see, but I'm definite, I'm sure that with his insight he can see much more than we sighted people can. And I'm reminded of Helen Keller, who said, "The seeing see little." So it is this insight, you see, spiritual insight, which nature gives them. Similarly, those who you lack something, you see, physically, even mental cases I have seen, that if one lobe of their brain is affected, science also proves that, there are so many doctors are sitting over here. If one lobe of the head is affected, then the other lobe becomes far more active. And I have seen mentally retarded, so-called retarded and impaired persons, geniuses of mathematics, calculations. They sometimes foretell things. Even in our society, you see, there was this concept of sign. People used to come and ask questions from that sign about certain problems. And in his own, haphazard way, broken language, he used to answer things. Sometimes he would foretell it. Science says that it was not just the brag of a mentally retarded person. It is a potentiality, a kind of power which nature awards a person with, and he is capable of foretelling things. So, honestly speaking, I started writing my book just for catharsis' sake, because when you write diary, you feel very light. But when, I proceeded on, I felt that I was simply possessed by something which was even beyond my subconscious. I don't know whether you have heard of the term daemon. It's a Greek term, that the creative part of the mind, you see, which is not under your control once you take the pen. Even the pen is not under control. It is just like riding on a horse, pen rides on you. So I proceeded on and